My name is Sophie. I am 19 years old. I'm going on a mission to Vladivostok, Russia. I love dancing. I love laughing. I love teasing my dad. The first time that I went to India, I fundraised by just getting a job. But the second time, it was my senior year, and I was busy with college applications and AP classes and whatnot, and so I didn't have time to commit to a formal job. And I was discussing this with my friend who was also preparing for a service trip. We realized people need boutonnieres no matter what. It's, for some reason, part of the school dance process, and so we thought we might as well capitalize on that and fundraise by making boutonnieres. We were sent screenshots back and forth of photos, of ideas, and we called floral shops and asked them for donations, or grocery stores and asked them for donations of flowers or greenery. We'd wake up super early on the morning of a dance and just bust them all out, spray them with water, put them in my fridge with all my food, and then have the girls come pick them up. And it was super fun. It was fun to make something that you're proud of and something that you think is cute. I went to India with Rising Star Outreach of India. It's an organization that works with the leprosy affected in southern India, in Tamil Nadu. And it's an incredible organization because it's not one where the leaders of the team fly there and then fly back. They're always there. They have established themselves in that community, and which is important for India because people with leprosy are at the lowest of the low on the caste system. The caste system is technically outlawed in India, but it's still very socially prevalent. There's a terrible social stigma surrounding those with leprosy, and they can be denied school and work and marriage and friendship, all because they had leprosy at some point in their life, or their grandpa had leprosy at some point in their life. And leprosy is actually very curable, a very simple antibiotic. The problem is, if you've had leprosy for years and you've lost limbs or gone blind, you still have these physical representations of your leprosy, and they don't care if you've been cured. You're still sick and you're still different. And so Rising Star saw that problem and sought to fix it, and they've done so by establishing a school for the children of the leprosy affected. And the school concentrates on two main skills: computer technology and English. The reasoning behind that is if you wanted to get a job at a local shop or a local business, if they found out that your great-great-grandpa had leprosy, they would not hire you. But the big outsourced companies from America and Europe that are in India don't care. And so if you can demonstrate proficiency in English and computer skills, you have a good, solid job by Indian standards. It's a huge school, and at first there was a lot of anger in the community towards this school being near these villages. The leaders of the villages didn't want it there. They didn't want that associated with their home. And now, while I was there were actually riots from some of the village leaders that said, you need to accept our kids, like, we want our children to come to this school. But they don't have leprosy, and so I believe Rising Star's policy is out of 10 kids, 8 will be from the leprosy colonies and 2 will be from the villages. And the villages just now, I don't know how many years later, but not many, are begging to be in this school and begging to get educated among these kids with leprosy. And that's really incredible to see that progress and to see that drastic change in the community, just because of how amazing the school is and the incredible opportunity to be taught by not only Indians but Americans, and to learn English from an American is an amazing skill. Even if you're just a high schooler, you're a native English speaker, and that is an incredible tool for those kids. At nighttime, you get to go to the kids' rooms and talk to them. You're supposed to read a story, but really they just say, what's your family like? What do you eat for dinner? And they just want to know. And when you're talking, they ask you questions about words you're saying and things they don't know. And so they're asking these questions that they might feel uncomfortable asking in a classroom setting, but they feel comfortable because you're laying in their bed with them. It's on the ground, but you're laying down with them and they're tickling your arm or you're scratching their back, and they're comfortable to ask you these questions about grammar or what a word means, or what a cupcake is, because that was a difficult concept for them. And so they're asking these questions because they're comfortable and you're their friend and you're their peer, and that's extremely valuable as well. There has been disenchantment with the idea of humanitarian aid organizations and questioning of how much good it actually does. And I did a good amount of that while I was in India, because you watch these hardworking Indians who can do your job better than you and quicker than you, and they don't need your help. They really don't. The teachers at the school are incredibly well qualified. The workers, though their tactics are different from our construction workers, they get the job done, and they get it done quickly. And so I started to question that, but I realized these leprosy affected people are shunned from their society completely, and Americans are rock stars in India. Like, everyone wants to shake your hand and take a photo with you just because you're from America. The medical work that you're doing, truly, the patients know how to do to themselves. They can wrap their own bandages and they can wash their own feet. But to have you touch their feet, to touch the dirtiest part of their body for them, for you to willingly do that, that is irreplaceable in their hearts, and that causes them to know that they're loved and to know that they're important. And that's ultimately what I recognize, that yeah, they're not useless. They can do the work that you're doing, but the love that you show them, they cannot receive from themselves. Noticing the drastic change that being nice makes in someone's life is definitely a skill I could take home. And noticing and taking home the fact that love can change lives entirely, that's something that I definitely brought home with me. I also paid attention to the fact that there's more than one way to do something. Especially on the construction rotation, instead of a base for a building, they just put mud and rocks, and so many people would say, oh, we have to change this, we need to get a concrete machine in here, and it works for them, and their houses stay up for years and years, and even though it's not the way I do it, it works. And so I think it's easy to get into a mentality that the way you do things and the way you think about things is the right way, and it's not always. Maybe it is, but someone else's way might be right as well. I think it opens your heart to loving people more when you realize that just because they're different from you and do things differently from you doesn't mean they're